Welcome back to the Art of Plenty. I am so glad you are here today. Can we talk about parenting fails again? Because if I have learned anything from parenting for the last 17 years, it's that I continue to fail. So there are things that continue to happen that I kind of thought that I was beyond by now, that I'm not beyond. And I have once again done something that I'm like, okay, this clearly isn't working. My parenting strategy is not working. So let me set the stage for you. As a family, we go skiing. Now, I want you to know that this is one of those types of activities that really matters to me. And here's why. I grew up in a family, I've got 3 brothers, and it's almost like 2 sets of kids. So my older brother and I are close in age, and then there's a big gap between me and my next brothers. And consequently, as a result, when I was a kid and we would go do activities or family holidays, it was always 2 different groups. Like I remember going to the movies and we were on holidays, we were down in the States, and I can't remember if we were there for sports or if it was just a summer holiday and we had gone away for a couple days, and we were going to the movie theater, and my older brother and I went to see Multiplicity. I don't know what year that came out, but we went to the theater. So the 2 of us go to one movie and the rest of my family goes to a different movie. We did not have the same interest because there was such a big gap. I don't remember any family holiday ever being really that easy because we were always doing different things and we always wanted to do different things, and my parents wanted to accommodate us. So you know how when you're a kid and then you get older and there's these things from your childhood that you really appreciated and you want to carry those on into your next family or your family with your kids. And then you have other things that you really don't appreciate from your childhood. So you're intentional as a parent to do something different. This is the reason why I wanted to have my kids close together. So my kids are like clockwork pretty much every 2 years, except for the last one was 2.5 years because I had actually had a miscarriage before he was born. So he's 2.5. He's not 2 years apart like the rest of them. And for me, the reason why I wanted to have my kids close together was because I didn't want to have that experience for my family. I wanted us to be able to do things together and that we would enjoy the same activities. Now, here's what I didn't know. It probably wouldn't have mattered anyways, because when you have 5 kids, even though they're 2 years apart, you have a big age gap between an 8-year-old and a 16-year-old, and you're not necessarily going to be interested in the same activities. That age gap is bigger than the age gap that I have between me and my younger brothers. So I didn't think that through, but that is okay because this is what skiing does for me. When we go to the ski hill as a family, I get this sense of euphoric joy because we're all doing something that we enjoy and we're all together. And one of my favorite holidays was a ski holiday that the 7 of us went on. In fact, I have paintings from that holiday hanging in my bedroom because I had them commissioned, because it just, those moments on the ski hill when all 7 of us are there together fill me with so much joy for family life. And there have been times and seasons where not all of my kids enjoy skiing. And this year is one of those years where everybody seems to like it. And it's a bit different because my daughter is still away in Europe, but she's coming home soon. So we will probably get a family ski day. But this is what skiing means to me. And this year has been amazing because everybody wants to go. Now, my youngest guy, he's 8, okay? And lately, when we've been talking about going to the hill, he doesn't want to go. And it's weird because when he gets there, like the first time he's like, oh, I don't want to go. yeah, that's okay. Don't worry. We're just going to do a couple runs. It's the first day back to the hill. We can have some hot chocolate, maybe go for some French fries. Like these are pretty high. It's like, you're going to have hot chocolate and feed me French fries? Yeah, I'm going to go to the hill. These are things that we did when they were little too. We would bribe them with waffle fries. Just do so many runs and then you get waffle fries. I'm not above bribing. Not for skiing anyways. So the first day is kind of expected. He hasn't done it for a whole year. He doesn't remember if he knows how to do it. He doesn't remember if he likes it. And because he's young, the memory of skiing is further away in his mind than, let's say, my 14-year-old or my 12-year-old. It's been a long time for him. But he gets up there and he realizes like, oh, I like skiing. I had a great day. This is so fun. So we've gotten through the first day. But then that happens again the next time. He doesn't really want to go. Again, we kind of work through it. He gets to the hill. He has a great time. Time number 3. And maybe I didn't tell them that we were going to ski that day, but my husband was gone. He was with another kid. They were playing hockey. And so I'm home and I made plans with my older son, like, yes, let's go to the hill. That'll be great. I think that I've communicated this to everyone who's home. And maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Maybe I communicated it and nobody listened. It doesn't matter. That does happen in a family. And yeah, I know that if you communicate with kids, if you get them in on the plan, they're more likely to want to do it. I know that trick. That trick works great for us. And I don't know if I didn't implement it this time. But even still, at 8, I'm expecting that even if you didn't know and now you know, it shouldn't be a big deal. We're going skiing. Let's go to the hill. You like skiing. Well, right from the get-go, he's refusing. And he is running away. Now, I don't know if you have kids that run away. I haven't really. This number 5, he's really the only one that has tried this running away strategy. And usually when he says that he's going to run away, I help him get organized. You know, I talk to him about what he's going to need to pack and make sure he has it in a good bag. Or, you know, have you thought about where you're going to sleep tonight? Have you thought about what you're going to be eating today or tomorrow? How much stuff can you pack? And I just start running the scenarios of things that he's going to have to think about if he runs away from home. This is very strategic because in the moment, there's just that fury and that frustration and wanting to escape the situation he's in. So by adding all of these layers to what that means, it usually eliminates his desire to run. Not always, but usually. And I always end it when in these conversations when he's planning to run away. I always end it with what a gap he will leave in my heart and in our home when he goes. And how much it matters to us that he's there, but that I understand that he feels ready to go and that he needs to leave. But it really is hard, and I'm really going to miss him because I love him. I say all of that. He usually ends up not running away. Or he runs out to the end of the driveway and then comes back. He just needs a bit of a break. So here we are. We're trying to get to the ski hill. And he's talking about running away, and I'm working through some of this stuff. Meanwhile, we're trying to get stuff loaded, and the other kids are completely dressed and ready to go. And he's not. So at this stage, I'm telling him he doesn't have a choice. He's not old enough to stay home alone for the day. Like he's not. He's 8. He has to come. I have no other arrangements. So he doesn't have a choice. He has to come. And as much as possible, I try to give my kids choices, but we can't always do that. Especially in a family of 7, you don't always get to choose. In a family, you always are making sacrifices and doing things for others. That's what it means to be in relationship. So he has to come. And he's not listening and he's not getting his stuff on, and it's starting to be hurtful to the others because the other kids are in their equipment. The other kids are ready to go. It's not fair to them for him not to show up, for him to not get ready to go. So I'm making threats now with consequence. If you do not do if you do not get in the car, if you do not get your stuff organized, then you will lose this privilege. Now, The privilege that I chose to take away from him was opportunity to be on devices. If at all possible, I try to make consequences that are natural, that make sense for the situation. If you can have a natural consequence where you don't actually have to implement anything, and because of what they're doing results in a certain thing that is not advantageous to them, those are the best consequences that just happen as a result. But in this situation, the natural consequence of his brother being mad at him or his sister being annoyed or frustrated or me being irritable isn't working as a consequence whatsoever. And me drawing attention to the impact that he's having on his family, not having any impact. So I decide that if he doesn't do this, if he doesn't get in the vehicle, if he doesn't get his stuff on, he's going to lose time on devices. Now, the reason why I chose that consequence was because I think a big part of the reason why he was not wanting to go and why he was upset about the situation was because he just wanted to hang out and play on devices, because it was Saturday and he just wanted to chill out. Now, he had already had some opportunity to be on YouTube. Like, it's not like he got up and I was forcing him into the car. He had already been on YouTube. And what I notice about him and what I've been noticing is the more time he's on devices, the less amicable he is to doing family type activities or any activities. He doesn't want to necessarily go outside and skate or go play because he just gets locked in. And the less time he has on devices, the less of a problem that is. So that's the consequence. If you don't do this, then you're going to lose, device time for the rest of the weekend. So he's moving, but I'm still fighting. I'm still trying to get him into the vehicle. So we get in the vehicle, and now he's having a fit about not getting his ski boots on, because he typically likes to put his ski boots on in the vehicle before we make the drive to the hill. But it's too late. So his boots are just put in the car. He's in the car and we're on the drive. And he is peppering me. He's calling me stupid. He's telling me to shut up. And at this point we're in the car. I'm done talking with him about it. I'm just giving him an opportunity to cool down. And he's not cooling down at all. He's yelling at me and calling me names because he's angry now because he's lost time on his device. So we get to the hill and we park and we're unloading, and he still has to get his ski boots on, but so do I, and everybody's getting the stuff. The other kids are ready. They are organized, and he's not getting his boots on, and I'm telling him, you need to get your boots on. And he's asking for help, so I'm trying to help him. And I'm not having the most patient tone with him. I'm not using the most kind voice where I'm massaging him into we're skiing. Like, I am direct. I am probably a bit harsh. Like, you need to get your stuff on. I'm talking quite sternly, and I'm not yelling, but my voice is definitely heightened when I have no problem asserting myself, and I have no problem raising my voice. So this is what's happening. And I notice that after I've been giving him trouble, like, you need to get your boots on, you're going to lose more. And again, he's planning to run away. So I'm just in the parking lot. Like, he's just going to leave. So I'm letting him do that because he is 8 and I know that I can trust him to be safe in the parking lot. But I'm still insisting that he needs to get his stuff on and that we are going skiing for the day and that he's going to lose devices. And now we're up to pretty much like a month, like no more devices for a month, except for family movies, because that just feels like a really unfair consequence if the whole family is watching a movie and you don't get to. So that is the consequence that we're dishing out. And I noticed that 2 cars over is another person that's getting on their ski equipment, and their door is open and they're listening to everything that has transpired between me and my son. And my first gut was, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. And then I'm thinking to all of the things that I've said to my son since we've arrived at the ski hill, and all of the, you need to get your boots on, and you're not being fair. This isn't very loving towards your family. You're not being considerate. You're going to lose device time. You need to get your boots on. Like, just running through all of the different things that I had said. And I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm embarrassed about not how he's acting, because obviously I have no control over that, but I'm embarrassed by the situation that I'm finding myself in with my son. And then I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that I'm embarrassed by how I'm acting, because it's not like I was doing anything inappropriate. It's not like I was being mean to my kid. But I'm cognitively aware that this individual, a few cars over from me, has no idea what has transpired at our house. He has no idea that my son had been calling me stupid or telling me to shut up, or like none of that. He has no frame of reference. So he's just getting this micro picture of how I seem as a parent. And I'm like, I probably came across super harsh. Like, you need to get your boots on now. And I'm not necessarily helping him get his boots on, because I wanted him to at least start the process. Yeah, I actually did go over and help him put his boots, and I often will help him get his boots on, because ski boots, come on, those things are tricky to get on. But I was running through, what did I say? Did I come across harsh? I'm like, and then I'm upset. Like, why do I even care what this person thinks of me that doesn't even know me, that doesn't even know the situation? And that part bothered me. And I've been thinking about that the piece, yeah, it was upsetting how my son was acting, but the piece that bothered me was how I looked to somebody else as a parent. I'm annoyed that I care about that. And yeah, I want to be a good parent. And I want to be a good parent more than I want to seem like I'm a good parent. And yet I was rattled by this person being in the vehicle. And that doesn't really sit right to me. It should be more important that I'm doing. And then I was thinking back to all of those situations where I've seen other parents struggling with their kids. And I've witnessed that. Like, it is hard. It is hard to parent. And I should have it figured out. Like, I have 5 kids. I have 5 loving, responsible, well-balanced, caring, intelligent, creative kids. Like, my kids are amazing. They're so fun to be around. They have such good attitudes. Like, I kind of have the parenting thing dialed, and and yeah, there's a bit of winning the lottery with my kids too. Like, they're amazing humans, and I like all of them as people, but I've put my time in. And what's amazing about having a lot of kids is when you put your time in with kid number 1, kid number 2, you don't have to put the same amount of time in, because kid number 1 is modeling what's appropriate. So it's getting reinforced to them because they're seeing what other kids do. And then with kid number 3, they have 2 models. And then 4, they've got 3. And then 5, like this number 5 has 4 models of what is appropriate. And he has experiences to draw from, like, oh, when I actually get to the hill, I love it. I have a good time. Maybe my mom's right. Like, so to be in that situation probably made me a little bit more frustrated. Like, we just did this last week. You didn't want to go. You got there. You had a good time. We did this 2 weeks ago. You didn't want to go. You got there. You had a good time. Anyways, here we are now. He's got a month with no devices. And my goodness, has it been easier around the house since that consequence got implemented? He's way more amicable. I tell you, devices, those things really impact kids and really impact their willingness to do other things. So we finally get there, and he's walking his own way. So he doesn't walk with us to the chair. He goes a different route through the parking lot to the chair, which is great because he's getting space. He's getting time to collect himself. We go up the hill. We're halfway down the first run. You know what he says? Oh, Mom, I'm having such a good day. Not that he's, oh, I'm having such a good time at the hill. I'm having such a good day. Like, the hour and a half of gong show with the fight and the arguing is completely out of his mind. He is having such a good day. He loves the hill so much. He's telling me how much he loves me and how much fun he's having. He's like a completely different kid, 10 minutes into the first. And I knew it was going to be like that. And it does. And I say to him, I don't want you to forget it this time. Remind yourself of what this feels like when you don't necessarily want to go to the hill. Draw on this. And I don't know. We haven't been to the hill since then, so we're going to find out. We're going to find out if he's going to be able to. But honestly, I think I've solved the problem by the consequence, which is no devices. He's such a different kid. And I will say about consequences, like that is a hard one to hold up to. A month of no devices, because consequences, it really matters if you can follow through. Do not give a consequence if you are not ready to follow through. I have learned that lesson many times. And some consequences feel more like they're punishing us as the parents than they are as the kid because of the amount of energy and effort it takes to enforce it. This has not necessarily been the case for the device one. I have caught him like watching his brother play a video game. I'm like, no, bud, no, you need to find something else to do. So it's been short-lived, and yeah, he's a totally different kid when he's not on devices. And I would love to hear how you deal with parenting in public. Send me a DM if you've embarrassed yourself, or if you figured out why you even care. Because maybe you're like me and you care what other people around you are thinking about you as a parent. And it's somehow adjusting how you feel about your parenting, thinking about what you must sound like to others. I would love to hear how you handle that, because right now it's just bothered me. It bothered me that I even cared, but I haven't got beyond that. And I would love to know what my listeners are doing, because I can use all the help I can get. Thank you so much for tuning in, joining into the Art of Plenty podcast, where we dive into all of the wonderful joys of being human and figuring out how to live our best life. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that this podcast is an entertainment for you and perhaps a bit educational. If you are really struggling as a parent, get some professional help. There are so many talented people out there that this is what they do. They help parents be better parents. Have a beautiful day.